Hi my lovely, so we have a new video, our first sit down in 2024. We're going to be talking about the new legislation as regards German citizenship and dual citizenship. So I'm looking of how I'm going to be categorizing that. I'm going to categorize it in a way that explains to someone who is planning to relocate to Germany, but also for someone that is already living in Germany. Before we go any further, please don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, and for the recurring members, as always, get yourselves a tea, get a cappuccino, feel at home, and let's empower each other. So the new legislation as regards citizenship and dual citizenship in Germany will allow people to become eligible for citizenship after 5 years. As per now, you can only become a German citizen after 8 years, if you're lucky after 6 years. This law has been changed mostly to afford the relocation of skilled workers to Germany, to make Germany attractive for people who would like to relocate compared to other countries. So they're trying to create a conducive atmosphere for you out there who intends to relocate to Germany. This is one other reason why you should relocate, of which I'll be explaining some of the benefits of being a German citizen. And then, of course, they're also keeping in mind people that have been living here for a long time but have had hardships getting citizenship because of the bureaucracies. So if you're planning to relocate to Germany, this is one big incentive for you. But it comes onto conditions. The conditions are, like I always say, like I always offer in my consultations, integration is key. Integration and immigration go hand in hand. It is something that can't do the other. So the conditions are, you must be integrated. And how will they measure your integration, or how will they decide if you've integrated or not? You must have at least a B1 German certificate. For me, no brainer. I mean, there's no way you can really make a living in German. There's no way you can dream big in German without being able to read or write the German language. So B1 definitely is a very good level. Other condition is for you to be integrated in the job market. That means you have to be working. Again, at your service, I offer all those consultations, but those are the terms that will enable you to get German citizenship. Like I said, why should you be interested in relocating to Germany? Like I said, for those of you planning to relocate, this is a big incentive. I'll give you just a few of the benefits of being a German citizen. I mean, it gives you the right to vote. If you are planning to relocate or you've already relocated, it gives you many rights. We have one of the best social systems in the world, so you benefit from it. We're talking childcare, we're talking job loss cover, we're talking about health insurance, and then, of course, visa-free travel in so many countries. And for me, I think that's one of the biggest benefits of me being a German citizen, considering that I love to travel. Being able to travel so many countries visa-free is like, oh my God, it's a luxury that not everyone can afford. So definitely, that is one big incentive for you to consider becoming a German citizen or even relocating to Germany. Exactly the reason why this legislation has been brought up, to make German even more attractive for people that would like to relocate, of course, mainly for skilled workers. Children, this is also another very good one. In the past, being born in Germany did not mean that you become automatically a citizen. So that means if someone comes to Germany as a skilled worker, you know, I'm working in the IT sector, I'm working as a doctor, but I'm not a German citizen, I get married, get kids, they will not automatically become German citizens just because I live in Germany, which is a bit unfair and very complicated. But now the new law, the new legislation caters for that, and that means children born in Germany will automatically become German citizens if at least one of the parents has been a legal resident for at least 5 years. So it goes down to 8 years. It doesn't have to be a citizen, but if one of the parents has German, for example, permanent residence to stay, then the child becomes automatically a citizen. And that is something really, really important. Then we're talking about, before we even go to dual citizenship, I would also like to talk about something that I've noticed a lot in the consultations that I offer. we have different reasons why we relocate. So most or some people relocate on a family visa, family reunion. You know, you get married and you relocate. And now we live in a world where there's so different constellations or types of families. So now I'm going to address the blended family. You are a woman, you're a man, maybe from a third world country, you marry a German citizen, you have kids, and you relocate with your kids. So you're probably wondering, how do I go about my children getting citizenship? And this is also very important. Go check out my other videos. I have a video about deportation. That was also something similar to that. So if you marry a German citizen, for example, and you relocate, that means you're a blended family, you have kids already that are not German citizens. I would advise you to make sure that your children either get adopted by your partner, if that is even possible, depending on your ex-partner or the dad of the kids or mom of the kids, if they're okay with that. If not the case, make sure that the kids also get to apply for German citizenship based on the status of either parents as soon as possible before they make 18 years. Because once they're 18, they're independent human beings, they're independent citizens, and they have to apply for German citizenship on their own, which can be very complicated, which can lead to situations like in the video that I've told you about, where some people are deported although they came to Germany as young kids. You know, it is very, very important to make sure that you don't miss the threshold of 18, you know. So how do you go about it? If your partner is okay with adopting your kids and you're all fine with it, depending on your family constellation, that would be the easiest way. If it is not possible to have your new partner adopt your kids, maybe because the dad or the mom doesn't want that, then I would advise you, the person that has relocated, to make sure that you integrate, because there's no any other way around. Only that way you can offer your children the opportunity to get citizenship on your card, you know, as your dependents, for as long as they're not yet 18. I really hope you understand that. If you don't, please just let me know in the comments and I'll explain that. Again, if, for example, I migrated with 2 kids, one is 5, one is 6, there's an opportunity that my partner adopts them and they get citizenship based on the fact that he is German. Or alternatively, I, RUZHOFF, I make sure that I fully integrate, do my language course, get a job, and then I can apply for German citizenship for my kids based on my status. Should you miss that before they are 18 years, that means once they make 18, you can't do anything about it. Okay, I hope you've understood that. So now let's go to dual citizenship. This is a very interesting one. So until now, only people from European countries, from the Schengen area, were allowed to have double citizenship. For every one of us from the third country, including myself, we had to forfeit our original citizenship. For me, in my case, at first I was like, oh, it was a bummer. I was like, why? But the longer that I've stayed here, the longer that I've understood the system, and considering my knowledge of the law, it's not something that I really miss. Of course, it has its consequences. The fact that I have to pay for a visa to enter my own country, that I have to pay for a visa to go to East Africa, that I have to pay for a visa to get into Rwanda. You know, the fact that when I get to Uganda or Rwanda, I'm not considered as Ugandan, I'm German. So I have to pay for a visa and can't stay in the country endless and so on and so forth. Of course, those are some of the repercussions. But for someone who's been interested in dual citizenship, this is your opportunity. Anyone will be able to get dual citizenship regardless of which country you come from, of course, as long as it's possible. Unlike in the past where we had to forfeit our dual citizenship. Thinking of family, for example, if you are in an intercultural relationship like myself, my children are not just African, but they're also German, you know. So having interracial kids means, what kind of citizenship do they have? Well, one, my children are German citizen, but for as long as they're not yet 18 years, they're also free to have dual citizenship, unlike me, you know. And then when they clock 18, they have the right to decide if they really want to keep that dual citizenship, or they'll choose one citizenship. They can choose to be Ugandan, they can choose to be German. It's up to them. But before they're 18, they're allowed to have dual citizenship. My children don't have dual citizenship. I don't consider that necessary. But just so you know, if you're in such a situation, you have intermarried and you're considering what's best for your kids, you can let them have dual citizenship until they're 18, and then you will decide. Which actually brings me to my last point. Doesn't mean the video has ended, but that is my last point. In my next video, I'll be telling you or answering your questions whether dual citizenship is actually worth it. Is it something you should consider, or it's not really necessary? And that's why I can explain to you the advantages and disadvantages of having dual citizenship, either as an immigrant like myself, or if you're in an intercultural situation. Are there benefits for your kids having dual citizenship, and what are the disadvantages, for example? That will be my next video. So as I conclude this video, those are some of the things that have been changed, and I consider that very, very good, because one thing I forgot to say is that this law is also targeting or focused on people. We're talking about first generation, second generation, third generation immigrants, mainly who came here to work, especially the Turkish people. We have Arab people that have been living here for generations and generations, but they've not had the opportunity to become German citizens. They can't even vote because, of the law that was not flexible and the bureaucracies. But now it offers such people who are actually German people, except that legally they are not seen as German people, to actually have the same rights like every other German citizen. So that's a very, very great thing. And for you who is planning to relocate, why should this be an incentive for you? I mean, no brainer. If you come as a skilled worker or even any other kind of worker, because at the moment, as you know, we have another law that is really, really trying to invite people into the country, and that is the opportunity card. It makes life much easier for you, because we're talking, if you have German citizenship, it makes it much easier for you to move, because we're living in a global village. That's what I call the world. So it makes movement for you easier. If you have a family, we're talking easier relocation. We talk about better benefits, because you also be paying taxes, and then it's unfair if you're paying taxes and all that, but you don't have the same social service cover like every one of us has. So that is definitely a big incentive. And as I'll be explaining, of course, in the coming videos, as you all know, we do also quite a lot of content about immigration, integration, and relocation. It is really a great change to our law, because it has been a very rigid and strict one. And then we're also talking about people who come as asylum seekers. It's always been tiresome for someone to wait for 8 years, but at least if I know I'll get citizenship after 5 years, I consider that as motivation to integrate, motivation, like to really try and learn the language and integrate into the work market and so on and so forth. So that is actually a win-win on both sides, a win-win for the people that have relocated, but also a win-win for the country and for we as a German people. Once we have more people that have integrated, the better we are in society and the better we are able to live together. That's how I consider that. For anyone who still has questions, of course, as regards that, and like I said somewhere in the middle of the video, again, we do offer consultation services as regards immigration, relocation, all questions around that, integration, because like I said, immigration and integration go hand in hand. So once you get to Germany or any country in Europe, you really have to find a way of making it. Whatever your reason is for relocating, there'll be things that you have to manage. There'll be situations where you need information, where do I register? How do I find a job? How do I get taxi cover? Where do I get even my taxi identification number, and so on and so forth? And that's where I come in with my consultation services. Feel free to DM me anywhere on my socials, on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, Threads. I guess that's it. Under the name RUZHOFF, just like my YouTube name, but without an S. My loves, if you have any questions or something I've forgotten that you'd like to add on, feel free to hit the comment section and let's have a conversation. Until next time, thank you so much.